Good morning students. Today we are discussing about Anomie Approach. This approach was propounded by Merton. Anomie is a condition characterized by the relative absence or weakening or confusion of norms and values in a society or a group. So this is a Anomie approach. Is whatever we are following the common pattern of culture and following common norms in the society. Those who are deviate from their norms, common norms and confusion of the norms and values in the society from their group, that is called Anomie approach. So the concept of anomie was originally developed by Durkheim to explain division of labor and suicide, but it was Merton who used this concept 41 years after the publication of Durkheim's book Suicide to explain deviant behavior in terms of functioning of social and cultural structures in the society. So first developing this approach, anomie approach developed by the Durkheim. After that, the anomie approach says that R.k.Merton also. So the anomie involves breakdown in the cultural structure. Yes, definitely the anomie involves the cultural structure occurring particularly when there is disjunction between cultural norms and goals and the socially structured capacities of members of the group to act accordance with them. Okay, so anomie approach having the cultural structure and what type of culture we have to following and how to behave in the society and what are the behavior pattern we have to follow in the society. All those things will be included in the anomie approach. Then what kind of goals we have and what kind of ends we can achieve through their adaptations from the anomie approach. Those things will be included in the anomie approach. So, anomie is the counterpart of the idea of social solidarity, just as social solidarity is a state of collective ideological integration. Anomie is a state of confusion, insecurity and normlessness. So, anomie is a counterpart of idea, social solidarity. So, anomie always breaking of the social solidarity because one deviate from the normal behavior and one deviant from in the common way and going the separate way, that is called anomie approach. So, it is a normless conditions. According to Merton, the disjunctions between goals and means and the consequent strain leads to weakening of man's commitment to the culturally prescribed goals or institutionalized means, that is to a state of anomie. So that is called anomie. So he is told whatever goals and means, how to achieve the goals, how to achieve the goals and what kind of goals we have defined, all those things will be included in the anomie approach. But what are the way we can achieve the means or goals, what kind of means we have to follow achieve the goals, that things will be calculated. That is institutionalized means include in the anomie approach. So Merton maintains that people adopt themselves to this disjunction either by rejecting the cultural goals or the institutionalized means or both. He gives 4 varieties of deviant behavior. Merton thus locates the sources of strain not in the characteristics of individuals but in the culture and or social structure. So Merton means adopt themselves the disjunctions. So whatever we are deviating or anomalous conditions of the society, how to adapt that situation in the society, that is explaining the Merton the institutionalized goals way. Okay, the varieties of deviant behavior he will he explained in the different 4 varieties of deviant behavior. He says social problem rises not from people failing to live up to the requirements of their social statuses. But from the faulty organization of these statuses into a reasonably coherent social system. Merton and Nisbet, however, Merton's theory is incomplete and inadequate. All social problems cannot be perceived as the result of responses to strains or mode of adaptation and assessment. So Merton says how to we are accommodate or adaptation of the anomalous conditions in the society. What are the ways? What are the ways we are defining the goal, and what are the ways achieving the goals? All those things will be included in the adaptation and adjustments. Okay. So next one is Merton has defined 5 modes of adaptations available: those who react, goals and means of society, conformity, innovations, ritualism, retreatism and rebellion. These are the 5 modes of adaptations we are achieving the goals and means. Okay. First one is conformity. So conformity describes the acceptance of goals and also of the means of the society. So conformity, first one is acceptance of our goals, and also we are accepting the legal ways of the means to achieving the goals. Next one is innovations. The innovation represents the acceptance of the goals but the rejection of the means. But only we are defining in the goals, but we cannot achieve the goals. No way follow the achieving goals. For example, a student accepts the goals of passing the examination and obtaining a degree, but uses unfair means to pass. So thus Merton points out the poverty does not cause crime, but when poverty is linked with the cultural emphasis on monetary success as some dominant goal, and a poor individual cannot compete because of his poverty for the cultural values, then criminal behavior is the normal outcome. So one people or an individual can continue living in the poverty, automatically that people doing some malpractices or involving criminal activities. So the poverty is an anomie situation in the society that leads to violating norms and normless or unlawful conditions in the society. So next one is ritualism. Ritualism is the rejection of the goals but acceptance of the means. Here the ritualism, we don't have any goals, but we are living in the society without any goals. Just like that we are living in the society, that is called ritualism. For example, a student goes to college but does not attend his classes and spends time instead in the college canteen. Like this, ritualism is doing some kind of activities in the society. So next one is retreatism. Retreatism involves rejection of both goals and means. We don't have any goals and any means. For example, when an individual fails to achieve his goals by legitimate means and at the same time cannot adapt illegitimate means because of his superior socialization, he rejects both goals and means and becomes a drunkard, drug addict or vagrant. So these kinds of people doesn't have any goals and means, just like that he was living in the society. Okay. So this is a retreatism. So somewhat these people are needed to rehabilitate or re-socialization behavior of this society. So that is called retreatism. Last one is rebellion. Rebellion is characterized by the rejection of the goals and the means and an attempt to adopt new goals and means. So this is a rejection of the goals and means. We are rejecting the goals and means, then we are adopting new goals and means and achieving their goals and means. This is a rebellion. For example, the revelation, all those things will be coming under our rebellion. Okay. So Merton's typology of models of adaptations. Merton's only says that these 4 modes of adaptation behavior: conformity, innovation, ritualism, retreatism and rebellion. So in order to be able to cope with this pressure, individual recourse is made to one of the following by 5 behavior patterns: conformity, acceptance of cultural goals, and adaptation of social change. We are framing the goals, and according to the goals we are achieving their goals. Innovations: acceptance of cultural goals, non-recognition of legal means to achieve these goals. We are framing the goal and achieving that goal way in a legal way. That is called innovations. Next one is ritualism, lowering or abandoning the cultural goals and maintaining legal means to achieve them. Okay. Next one is retreatism, rejection of cultural goals and legal means. So we are rejection the goals and legal mean also. We have to follow the some kind of illegal activities. Okay, the rebellion, combating the objectives and means to change social structure. So according to Merton, people from lower social strata tend to resort to such means because they have fewer opportunities than higher strata to achieve cultural goals. Okay, so anyway that people are attaining the goals, they have a fewer opportunities than higher strata to achieve cultural goals. That is called rebellion. Okay, next one is the different adaptation reactions and the approval availability, rejection or cultural goals. Institutionalized means can be below. Mode of adaptation: conformity. This conformity stages we are adapting goals and achieved the goals in a legal manner. Then innovation, we have goals. We have a goals, but that institutional means are achieve or not achieving. For example, if you do one scientific research, maybe that scientific research will get a result or not a result, maybe failure. So that is the way maybe it will achieve or not. Then ritualism, we don't have any goals, but we are living in the society. Okay. Then retreatism, the retreatism people don't have any goals and don't achieve any means of goals because they are that people don't have any goals. Just like they are living in the society, then that people are wanted to re-socialization of the behavior. For example, drug addict or psychological ill people or mental retarded people, all those people coming under our retreatism. Then next one, rebellion, have a cultural goals, both are negative or positive. Then same time institutional means also positive or negative. It may be accepted or rejected or accepted. These are the different adaptation behavior, says that Mertens. Okay, so the Mertens theory has been criticized, Gauguin and Clinton and Lambert. Anyway, Mertens says the 5 modes of adaptations for achieving their goals, but that theory was criticized by some authors. There are main arguments or Merton's theory is incomplete because he has not explained who will reject goals and who will reject the means. Only structure has been given importance and individual personality has been ignored. So some they are not particularized the people, they are told in generally manner. Okay. Next one is strains do not necessarily need to deviant behavior. So some people telling the strain not only leads to the deviant behavior. For example, we have a depression or we have some feelings, that time we want to go the deviant behavior. But here some authors say strains do not necessarily lead to the deviant behavior. That arguments going under the 5 adaptations of deviant behavior. The theory neglects the important role of social control. Okay. So the theory the Merton theory was neglecting the importance role of social control, because the Merton says that whatever goals and whatever the achieving way, but any place he did not mention the social how to control that behavior. He not mentioned. So next one is Merton assumption that deviant behavior is disproportionately more common in lower classes not correct. So deviant behavior is disproportionately. It's not a uniform deviant behavior. Some persons are some kind of deviant behavior committed. Okay, so the more common in lower classes is not corrected. So he says some lower class people only doing the deviant behavior because for example they are fed up in the poverty conditions or normless conditions or they are living in the poorer condition. That kind of people only doing the deviant behavior is not correct. This is criticized from the authors. Okay, next one is Anomie may be the cause rather than the effect of circumscribed life chances. So, anomie may be a causes rather than the effect of circumscribed life chances. It will leads to the proper way of the life and immoral way of life also lead. Next one, the Kogan has argued that Merton has not explained the determination of the mode of adaptation of an individual. He has not particularized the determination of the mode of adaptations. Kogan has also said that Merton has failed to account for the non-utilitarian crime and juvenile delinquency in which people engage only for fun and not to meet specific goals of the society. For example, vandalism or a car theft for joy rides, etc. So here somebody failed. If any one person has failed of the some activities, that people leads to deviant behavior. That is the argument conditions. Next one is finally the theory does not take into account the social psychological variables or the social structural elements which might explain the priority of one adaptation over the other by the individuals. So, does not take into account any social psychological variables. So, here the Merton says does not take any into social psychological variables. For example, our IQ conditions, our what are the behaviors they are undertaken, all those things will not be included. And social structural elements, he says social structural elements only might explain the priority of one adaptation over the other by the individual. So, that is why Merton theories are coming under the criticism of the various authors. Okay, thank you so much. This is the Anomie way of approach. Even that R.k.Merton and Durkheim says also some kind of Anomie approaches. R.k.Merton and Durkheim says suicidal approach. That suicide approach has the three types. One is egoistic, another one is altruistic, another one is egoistic approach and altruistic approach and fatalistic suicide. These are the three types of suicide approach from our anomie conditions for our alienation conditions. If one people are feeling always in the isolated or always in separated, that people are leading to the suicide. So, these conditions explain from the Durkheim point of view for our anomie approach. Thank you so much students. If you have any queries, kindly ask me. Thank you so much.